Hey there, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the channel once again. Back with another countdown video. This time I have a beautiful co-host.
Hi guys!
That is Allison. Anybody that follows me on Instagram knows about her. So today we're going to go ahead and go through the Friday the 13th movies, which I'm a massive fan of, obviously. Got this snazzy little
Custom glass necklace.
custom glass pendant. So yeah, also I've got some Jordan 11 Adapt size 12 if you want to hit me up about those. And Rain, which I'm going to crack open right now so we can get started. What do you say?
Please sponsor him.
Like and subscribe. As always, per usual. Doesn't cost you anything. Do me a solid. White gummy bear. Always a solid option.
Is that your favorite?
Was that?
Is that your favorite?
Is it my favorite? I don't think so. No, I think my favorite is cherry limeade. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so without further ado, I think we're going to get down to brass tacks and start with our countdown at number 12. We've got Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday, I believe is what it's called. Do you remember anything about this movie? Not really? All right, so it opens with a girl in the woods alone, which is weird, and then it ends up being all a ruse to trap Jason, like the FBI or whatever, and they kill him dead, shoot him a bunch of times. You don't remember any of that? Nothing? It's a very forgettable movie, honestly. Jason is in it for like all of 10 minutes. It's about where his soul takes over people and kills them that way. The best part about the movie is Leslie Jordan is in it, and he's hilarious.
I love Leslie Jordan.
There's nothing not to love about him. So that's the worst movie that involves Jason Voorhees. Number 11. 10 and 11, kind of one and the same. Is Jason X. And Jason Goes to Space. Kind of a quirky little piece of cinema. Do you remember anything about that movie?
A little bit.
A little bit. Anything particular? It's not really a great movie. It starts off where he gets frozen by trying to chase somebody, and then college students from the year like 25, 60, whatever. The only good part about it is I think I remember you reacting to this. The part where he dips the girl's head in liquid nitrogen and then takes her out, and she's completely frozen, and then smashes her into the table, and her face is no more. It's pretty sweet kill. Definitely a top one in the series. And in at number 10 is the reboot from 2009, which we just recently watched. That's the most recent movie that I saw. With this one, it's a cool movie, but it doesn't feel like a Friday the 13th movie. It feels like just a serial killer movie, and they just borrowed the character and said, oh, well, we've got this built-in story. We'll just take that, have some cool kills, and then kill some horny teenagers and try to make some money off of the backs of the good people from Friday the 13th. You have anything on that one?
Nope.
Nope, exactly. Right. So now to the good stuff. Number 9. Friday the 13th, Part 5, The New Beginning. I don't hate this movie nearly as much as most people do. I've seen a few of these rankings, and it's always really towards the bottom. And it's not so bad to me. I do like the Tommy Jarvis aspect of it, even though the actor looks like he's like 35, playing a 17-year-old kid. So that part, a little, I mean, whatever. I don't know how you couldn't get a solid actor for Tommy Jarvis after this is the 5th Friday movie, but regardless, I enjoyed it. Do you remember this movie at all? The Blue Triangle Mask.
A little bit, yeah.
Roy is the killer. So pretty forgettable, but this is the one where they're in that mental patient thing, which is weird because they're allowed to like leave and go outside and stuff, so it doesn't feel like it. But there's the little black kid that rides the tractor. Do you remember that part? You don't remember that part. All right, so Roy coming in at number 9. And then number 8, which happens to be the 8th movie of the Franny franchise. So yeah, this was the one where Jason takes Manhattan, right? Which is a fun concept of it, you know, a giant brooding serial killer, masked serial killer running around the streets of Manhattan. But the movie takes place mostly on a boat to Manhattan. The last, 25 minutes, I haven't watched it in a little bit, takes place actually in the city. There's some pretty cool kills here, especially on the top of the building when he knocks that boxer dude's head clean off his shoulders.
Cool.
Definitely. Bing, bang, boom. In my notes I wrote, the kids doing coke was very 80s, so that was kind of funny. The Jason, then they showed Jason as like a little kid. He was like a normal, like looking little kid, like even more normal than I looked as a little kid. So that was kind of weird. In the first Friday the 13th, you see him come up and he's got that giant head, bald with a drooping eye. So definitely a departure from the original movies. But hey, when you hit the 8th, you know, things tend to move and shake a little bit. So I liked it. It's a fun watch for sure. But moving on, it's got the first movie that I saw, including Jason Voorhees, which is Freddy vs. Jason from 2003. I had never seen any of the movies. I was born, you know, when the movies were actually done, except for Jason X. I was born in 94, so Final Friday, Jason Goes to Hell, was from 93, so I was only alive for one actual Jason movie. But this one I really did like. It was one of the... I watched it a bunch of times, honestly, before I watched any of the Friday the 13th movies, which I didn't even watch any of the Friday the 13th movies until last year now, 2021. I watched them all. So, do you remember when we watched Freddy vs. Jason? I know we watched it before I started watching all the Friday movies. Remember anything about it? No.
Yeah.
Moving on. So Freddy Krueger I always thought he was really creepy, especially with the burnt face, you know, that was really traumatizing as a child, and I had some less than stellar relatives that used to scare them.
Traumatized you?
Yeah. As fuck. But watching it later, you get an admiration for the character. He's not your typical slasher, like brooding, slow moving, big as fuck serial killer. He's quick witted, which is fun. It's a change up, little curveball there. But the part in the movie where Jason is afraid of water is very weird. I mean, if you think about it, he's drowned in the movie series like 4 times, so kind of makes sense. You keep dying from something, you're gonna want, and you keep coming back, you're gonna not want to go back to fucking drowning, right? So that also, I'm weirdly optimistic and look for the good in like everything. So other people are like, oh, he's afraid of water, that's super weird, but it's not really. When you get really right down to the nitty gritty of it, it makes sense if you've drowned a bunch of times to be afraid of water. But he kind of wins the versus the match, the match, I guess, yeah. Against Frederick, cuts his head clean off. Wait, Lori, isn't her name Lori? Lori's the final girl, and she cuts his head off. Very reminiscent of the first Friday the 13th movie when that, I don't remember her name, girl cut Mrs. Voorhees, Pamela Voorhees' head clean off. So that's a pretty cool callback. Oh shit. Real quick, I forgot, the 2009 remake he initially had the bag over his head, which was a good callback to the second movie in which before he had the mask. So I just wanted to add that in. We'll edit that part out and get back to the magic of canon, right? Anyway, number 6 on our Friday the 13th countdown. The best Friday the 13th movie that there has ever been. The original. Friday the 13th, Part 1. Now, there's a great documentary about this movie on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us, I believe. And it's absolutely fascinating how they didn't worry about, they weren't like, oh, worried about this, that, and the other. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? Like I am with like everything. Perfectionist is a fucking curse. They just did shit and figured it out on the fly, and it is absolutely hilarious. It's inspiring even. So, Friday the 13th, coming in at number 6. Kevin Bacon makes his, I don't know if he made his debut. I'm not a big Kevin Bacon fan, but young. There's a bunch of actors that made their debut, so it's like a small budget like movie that made it absolutely huge. Another thing, when one of the opening scenes where that girl's walking around town like trying to get a hitch a ride to Camp Crystal Lake, and she gets into cars with strangers. I'm like, holy shit, that would like no one's doing that today. But hey, 1980, right? And the way Kevin Bacon gets killed with the arrow through the neck, that was super cool. And then just pew, 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 spewing blood. And then the reveal, because when I watched this early 2021, I don't believe that I knew that Jason's mom was the murderer. So when it's revealed, it's a shock, but it's funny because she rolls up and she's like, there's like, people are dying. She's like, old friend of the Christies, you'll be fine. Let's see what we can do for you. So that was a little bit of a red herring. So now we got the top 5. Alright guys, so that does it for part 1 of the breakdown. kind of flying by the seat of my ass cheeks on this YouTube thing, so kind of figuring out as I go. So having some issues uploading the whole thing, so I figured I'd just break it down into 2 parts. So we've got the back half that we just went through, movies 12 to 6, and then we're going to come back and provide the top 5 best Friday the 13th movies that have ever been produced. So thank you for enjoying part 1, and look forward to enjoying the sequel of this video, part 2, coming up to you as soon as possible. Thanks, guys.